What if you looked up at the night sky and saw something impossible? A light darting across the stars in ways no human craft could move. This isn't just science fiction. In 1947, a pilot named Kenneth Arnold reported seeing 9 mysterious objects near Mount Rainier, flying at speeds no known aircraft could reach. That sighting sparked a global fascination with the unknown, and it's a question that's haunted us for centuries. Are we alone in the universe? From ancient cave paintings to modern-day military reports, humanity has been searching for answers, and the deeper we look, the more the mystery grows. Imagine standing on the edge of a cosmic ocean, staring into the darkness, knowing that somewhere out there, another civilization might be staring back. That's the thrill of the Fermi Paradox, the unsettling silence where we expect a universe teeming with life. If the conditions for life are so common, why haven't we found proof? Or have we? This video is a journey into the heart of that mystery. We're diving into 30 of the most intriguing questions about alien life, questions that challenge everything we think we know. Could microbes from Mars already be hiding in our soil? Are advanced civilizations staying silent on purpose? And what if the truth is stranger than anything we've imagined? These aren't just hypotheticals. Scientists are right now scanning the stars, decoding strange signals, and even studying bizarre organisms on Earth that survive in conditions once thought impossible for life. The search for extraterrestrial intelligence isn't just about little green men. It's about rewriting the story of life itself. So let's ask the big questions together. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, one thing's certain: the universe is far too vast and far too strange for us to be the only ones here. From the depths of the ocean to the farthest reaches of space, the clues are waiting. All we have to do is keep looking and keep wondering, ready to explore the unknown. Let's begin. The odds are staggering when you look at the sheer scale of the cosmos. It feels almost arrogant to assume we're the only ones here. Our galaxy alone contains hundreds of billions of stars, most with their own planets. And the universe, there are trillions of galaxies, each a swirling ocean of potential. So why haven't we found definitive proof of alien life yet? That's where the Drake equation comes in, a brilliant yet haunting formula that tries to calculate just how many communicative civilizations might exist. It considers everything from the rate of star formation to the fraction of planets that might nurture life, all the way to the elusive question of how long a civilization could last before vanishing. Plug in the numbers optimistically and the galaxy should be buzzing with activity, but tweak them slightly and the answer drops to near silence. That's the paradox. We have the math that says we shouldn't be alone, yet the universe seems eerily quiet. Then there's the explosion of exoplanet discoveries. Thanks to telescopes like Kepler and James Webb, we've found thousands of worlds beyond our solar system. Some orbit in the Goldilocks zone, not too hot, not too cold, where liquid water could pool on their surfaces. Take Kepler 442b, a planet with a 97-day year, bathed in gentle sunlight, or TRAPPIST-1e, rocky and Earth-sized, circling a quiet red dwarf star. These aren't just dots on a screen, they're real places where the ingredients for life might already be mixing. But here's the twist: even if life is common, intelligence might be vanishingly rare. Earth took billions of years to evolve creatures that could ponder their own existence. Maybe most life out there is microbial, clinging to hydrothermal vents or frozen beneath alien ice. Or perhaps civilizations rise and fall too quickly, their signals fading before we can hear them. The unsettling truth is this: the universe gives us plenty of maybes but no answers. And that's what makes the search so thrilling. Every new telescope, every radio signal decoded, brings us closer to solving the greatest mystery of all. Are we alone? The cosmos isn't telling yet. If life exists beyond Earth, would we even recognize it? Hollywood loves to imagine aliens as humanoid creatures, 2 arms, 2 legs, a head with eyes, but the universe has no obligation to follow our expectations. Life on Earth already defies logic in ways that stretch our imagination. Take the tardigrade, a microscopic creature that can survive the vacuum of space, or the bacteria thriving in boiling sulfuric acid. If life can flourish in such extreme places here, why couldn't it take forms we've never dreamed of? Carbon is the backbone of life as we know it, forming the complex molecules that make up our DNA, proteins, and cells. But what if other elements could do the same? Some scientists speculate about silicon-based life, an idea that sounds like pure science fiction until you realize silicon, just like carbon, can form long chains and complex structures. Imagine creatures with crystalline skeletons, breathing not oxygen but sulfur, their biology shaped by an entirely different chemistry. Then there's the possibility of life that doesn't rely on chemistry at all. Could energy itself be a medium for life? Plasma-based organisms swirling in the atmospheres of stars, or electromagnetic entities riding the currents of cosmic radiation. The universe is vast, and the rules of biology might be far more flexible than we think. Even stranger, what if alien life doesn't exist as discrete organisms but as vast, interconnected networks? Picture a planet-spanning intelligence, a single distributed mind woven into the soil, the air, the oceans. Or beings so different from us that communication is impossible, their consciousness operating on timescales we can't perceive, slow as tectonic shifts or fleeting as lightning. The truth is, we might not even recognize alien life if we found it. A rogue microbe in Martian soil, a drifting cloud in Venus's atmosphere, an ancient signal encoded in starlight. The first proof of extraterrestrial life could be staring us in the face, and we might not realize it until we learn to see the universe in a whole new way. The idea that we might have already been visited by beings from another world isn't just the stuff of blockbuster movies. It's a question that's been asked for generations, backed by thousands of unexplained sightings and even declassified government documents. Think about the Roswell incident in 1947 when the U.S. military initially claimed to have recovered a flying disc, only to later call it a weather balloon. Witnesses described strange debris, thin, metallic material that couldn't be torn or burned, and rumors swirled of recovered alien bodies. Decades later, the controversy still lingers. Was it a secret military experiment or something far more extraordinary? Then there's the Phoenix Lights, one of the most well-documented mass sightings in history. On March 13, 1997, thousands of people across Arizona reported a massive V-shaped object gliding silently overhead, its size dwarfing commercial aircraft. Even the governor at the time went on record saying it wasn't of this world. The military later claimed the lights were flares dropped during training exercises, but skeptics point out that flares don't hover motionless or travel in perfect formation. Now fast forward to recent years when the U.S. government finally acknowledged what ufologists had been saying for decades: unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAP, are real. The Pentagon's declassified videos show objects moving at speeds and performing maneuvers that defy our understanding of physics. Navy pilots have described encounters with crafts that accelerated instantaneously, made sharp 90-degree turns without slowing, and dove into the ocean without a splash. These aren't blurry dots on a shaky camera. These are trained observers with advanced sensors tracking objects that behave like nothing in our known inventory. But here's where it gets even more intriguing. Historical records are full of accounts that sound eerily similar. Medieval tapestries depict strange flying orbs. Renaissance paintings show disc-shaped objects hovering in the sky. Even ancient texts from India describe Vimanas, flying chariots piloted by celestial beings. Could these be early encounters with the same phenomenon we're seeing today? Or are we projecting modern interpretations onto old myths? the debate isn't just about lights in the sky, it's about credibility. When pilots, radar operators, and military officials all report the same inexplicable things, it's harder to dismiss. Yet, without physical evidence, a piece of alien metal, a clear photograph, an undeniable artifact, the question remains open. Maybe some sightings are advanced drones or experimental aircraft. Maybe others are atmospheric anomalies or tricks of perception. But what if even one of them is something else entirely? The universe is vast enough for the answer to be out there, and until we know for sure, the mystery will keep us looking up. Imagine a civilization not just decades or centuries ahead of us, but millions of years more advanced. On the cosmic timescale, humanity's entire technological history is less than a blink. So what might a species look like if they've had a 10-million-year head start? That's where the Kardashev scale comes in, a way to measure a civilization's technological prowess based on how much energy it can harness. A Type 1 civilization uses all the energy available on its home planet. We're not quite there yet, but we're close. A Type 2 civilization controls the energy of its entire star, possibly by building something like a Dyson sphere, a vast megastructure encircling a sun to capture its power. And a Type 3, that's a civilization capable of harvesting the energy of an entire galaxy. If such beings exist, their technology would seem like magic to us. Think about how a medieval peasant would react to a smartphone or a jet engine. Now multiply that gap by 1,000,000. An advanced alien species might communicate through quantum entanglement, manipulate spacetime to travel between stars, or even engineer entire universes. Their presence could be all around us, hidden in plain sight, because their technology operates on principles we haven't even discovered yet. They might not use radio waves for communication, rendering our frantic searches for signals pointless. Or perhaps they've transcended physical form entirely, existing as pure information in vast cosmic networks. This leads us to the chilling possibility of the Great Filter, a hypothetical barrier that prevents life from advancing to interstellar scales. Maybe the reason we don't see galaxy-spanning civilizations is because something wipes them out before they get there. It could be self-destruction through war or environmental collapse, or an external threat we can't yet imagine. The unsettling question is, are we destined to hit this filter, or have we already slipped past it, making us one of the rare exceptions in a silent universe? There's another layer to this mystery. If advanced civilizations are out there, why haven't they contacted us? One theory is the zoo hypothesis, the idea that they're deliberately avoiding us, observing from a distance like scientists watching animals in a nature preserve. Or maybe we're simply too primitive to be worth their time. To a civilization that's mastered starflight, we might be as insignificant as ants beneath their boots. Yet there's hope in the search. Projects like Breakthrough scan the skies for any hint of advanced technology, from infrared signatures of Dyson spheres to strange pulsations in starlight that could indicate artificial structures. Every strange anomaly, every unexplained signal could be a clue. The universe is old enough for mind-bending possibilities, and the more we learn, the more we realize how little we truly understand. The walls of secrecy surrounding UFOs have always seemed impenetrably high, especially when it comes to what governments might know. Area 51 has become synonymous with conspiracy, a top-secret military base rumored to house crashed alien spacecraft and even living extraterrestrials. Officially, it's a testing ground for advanced aircraft like the U-2 and stealth bombers, but the stories persist, fueled by whistleblowers who claim the truth is far stranger. Take Bob Lazar, the controversial physicist who says he worked at a site near Area 51 called S4, where he alleges he was tasked with reverse engineering 9 alien craft. His descriptions of the propulsion systems running on an unknown element he called Element 115 sounded impossible. Yet years later, scientists synthesized that very element, moscovium, in labs. Coincidence or something more? The U.S. government's habit of secrecy hasn't helped. For decades, officials dismissed UFO sightings outright, leaving witnesses to be ridiculed. But in 2020, the Pentagon declassified 3 now famous videos captured by Navy pilots' footage showing objects defying known physics. Suddenly, the conversation shifted. Even former presidents have weighed in. Barack Obama admitted there's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are. And yet, despite these acknowledgements, the full picture remains locked away. Freedom of Information Act requests have pried loose some fascinating documents. One declassified memo from the 1950s discusses flying saucers with operating characteristics beyond our knowledge. Another details a meeting where Air Force officials debated whether to tell the public about UFOs, fearing panic. But the most tantalizing clues come from insiders. Retired Colonel Philip Corso claimed in his book, The Day After Roswell, that he personally oversaw the distribution of alien technology to corporations, kickstarting advancements in fiber optics and night vision tech. Skeptics call it fantasy, but it raises a compelling question. If even a fraction of these stories are true, what else is being hidden? The cultural impact of this secrecy is undeniable. Every government denial fuels more suspicion, turning UFOs into the ultimate Rorschach test. Believers see a calculated campaign to obscure the truth. Skeptics argue that blurry videos and second-hand accounts aren't proof, just echoes of Cold War paranoia and modern-day misinformation. But one thing's certain, the longer authorities stay silent, the louder the theories grow. Whether it's misidentified drones, classified prototypes, or something truly otherworldly, the demand for transparency isn't going away. And in an age where leaks happen at the speed of light, the truth might not stay buried forever. Wheat fields ripple under the summer sun, and then overnight geometric masterpieces appear, flattened stalks weaving perfect spirals, fractals, and symbols that stretch hundreds of feet across. These are crop circles, one of the most visually stunning mysteries of our time. Some are undeniably man-made, the work of artists with wooden planks and ropes who have confessed to creating them under cover of darkness. But others are far harder to dismiss. Take the infamous Crabwood Formation from 2002, a sprawling, binary-coded message featuring a haunting alien face, all appearing in a single night without a single broken stalk or footprint in the mud. How could anyone craft something so precise, so fast, without leaving a trace? The science gets even stranger. Researchers have found anomalies in some crop circles that defy straightforward explanation. Plants bent at the nodes, not broken, as if exposed to intense heat. Magnetic particles scattered in patterns, soil samples showing microscopic iron spheres, the kind that form under extreme temperatures like those from a plasma discharge. Dr. Terence Meaden, a physicist, proposed the plasma vortex theory, that spinning columns of ionized air charged by atmospheric electricity could create these formations in seconds. Yet even this can't account for the intricate, symbolic designs found in some circles. Then there's the ufology angle. Eyewitnesses have reported glowing orbs hovering over fields moments before new circles appear. One case in England documented a trio of military jets chasing a silver disk over a field where a complex pattern materialized the next morning. Could these shapes be messages, attempts at communication from beings who think in geometry? Ancient civilizations revered sacred geometry. Maybe advanced extraterrestrials do too. Or perhaps it's all an elaborate global prank, a mix of human ingenuity and urban legend. The truth likely lies somewhere in between. Crop circles are a cultural phenomenon, a canvas where human artistry and genuine mystery collide. Whether crafted by artists, sculpted by plasma, or left by visitors from the stars, they force us to question what's possible. And in that questioning, the real magic happens, because the universe is always more interesting when it keeps a few secrets. Betty and Barney Hill's story is the stuff of legend, not just in UFO lore but in the history of psychology itself. Driving home through New Hampshire's White Mountains in 1961, they noticed a strange light tailing their car. What followed were hours of missing time, nightmares of being examined by gray-skinned beings, and a haunting sense that something profound had happened to them. Under hypnosis years later, their separate accounts aligned eerily, describing medical procedures, star maps, and a cold, clinical encounter that left them traumatized. Their case became the blueprint for thousands of abduction stories to come. But was it a genuine extraterrestrial encounter or something more personal, buried in the human mind? The debate splits wide open when you examine the patterns. Abduction accounts worldwide share uncanny similarities. Beings with large, black eyes, sterile examination rooms, a sense of paralysis, and intrusive procedures often focused on reproduction. Some claim physical proof, mysterious scars, unexplained implants, or even pregnancies that vanish without explanation. Doctors have removed tiny objects from alleged abductees, some emitting radio frequencies or composed of metals not found on Earth. Skeptics argue these could be shrapnel or surgical remnants, but believers point to their placement often beneath the skin near the ear or sinuses, as if placed deliberately. Then there's the science of the mind. Sleep paralysis, a well-documented phenomenon where the brain wakes before the body, leaving you conscious but frozen, mimics many abduction experiences. Add in hypnagogic hallucinations, and the brain can conjure vivid, terrifying visitors. Cultures across history have blamed these episodes on demons, spirits, or witches. Today, we call them aliens. The brain is a powerful storyteller, especially under stress or trauma. Yet some details defy easy dismissal. Take the Allagash abductions. 4 artists camping in Maine in 1976 who described being levitated into a craft by glowing beings. All 4 independently recalled the same events, even decades later. Or the Travis Walton case, where a logger claimed to spend 5 days aboard a ship after being struck by a beam of light, his disappearance triggering a massive manhunt. Walton passed multiple lie detector tests, and his crewmates, initially skeptical, stuck by their account under oath. The truth might lie in an unsettling middle ground. Could some encounters be misidentified military experiments or psychological phenomena, while others hint at something beyond our understanding? The universe is vast enough for both explanations to coexist. Until we have irrefutable proof, the stories will keep haunting us, not just as tales of visitors from the stars, but as mirrors reflecting our deepest fears and curiosities about what lies beyond the night sky. Picture this: a signal beams down from the stars, unmistakably artificial, decoded to reveal a message meant for us. The world watches as scientists confirm we are not alone. How would humanity react? The moment of first contact would ripple through every layer of society, shattering some beliefs and igniting others. Religious institutions might face existential questions. Would a creator god still fit into a cosmos teeming with other intelligent life? Some faiths could adapt, folding extraterrestrials into their cosmology as fellow creations. Others might fracture, their followers unable to reconcile doctrine with the reality of beings older, wiser, or utterly alien to our understanding. Politically, the stakes would be even higher. Nations would scramble to control the narrative, to weaponize or monopolize communication. The United Nations has protocols through SETI Post-Detection Task Group, a plan to verify, announce, and coordinate a global response. But in practice, secrecy and power struggles might override cooperation. Imagine a world where the U.S., China, or private corporations hoard alien technology or communication, sparking a new Cold War with interstellar implications. The very idea of borders could collapse under the weight of a shared cosmic identity, or fracture further as fear divides us. Then there's the darker possibility, the dark forest theory. Inspired by Liu Cixin's sci-fi trilogy, It suggests the universe is silent because advanced civilizations hide, fearing annihilation. Any species that broadcasts its location risks attracting predators or rivals. If this is true, our efforts to reach out like the Arecibo message or the golden records on Voyager could be naively reckless. Scientists like Stephen Hawking warned against announcing ourselves, comparing it to Europeans shouting into the unknown before colonizing the Americas. But silence has its own cost. What if the key to our survival lies in collaboration, not isolation? Even the mundane would unravel. Economies might crash as industries tied to earthly scarcity oil, minerals, become obsolete overnight. Philosophers would debate whether human rights extend to non-human intelligences. Pop culture would explode with new myths, while conspiracy theorists claim governments have hidden the truth for decades. And all the while, the biggest question would linger: are they peaceful, benevolent, or something beyond our comprehension? The irony is crushing. After centuries of searching, the moment we find proof might be the moment we realize how unprepared we truly are. Contact wouldn't just answer our oldest question, it would force us to ask new ones about our place in the cosmos, our capacity for unity, and whether we're ready to meet whatever or whoever is out there. What if the truth isn't out there in the stars, but right here walking beside us? The idea that aliens might live among us isn't just the plot of a sci-fi movie. It's a theory with roots in everything from ancient myths to modern-day conspiracy circles. Some researchers propose ultra-terrestrial beings not from another planet, but from a hidden layer of reality coexisting with ours. Think of them as neighbors we've never noticed, slipping between dimensions like shadows through a curtain. Then there's the idea of hybrids, beings blending human and extraterrestrial traits, living undercover as scientists, artists, or even your next-door neighbor. History is full of eerie accounts. Take the case of the mysterious Men in Black, not the slick agents from Hollywood, but figures described as oddly pale, moving with unnatural precision, and showing up to intimidate UFO witnesses into silence. Some claim these aren't government operatives at all, but entities ensuring humanity stays in the dark. Or consider the legendary Star People of Native American lore, celestial visitors said to have shared wisdom with ancient tribes before blending into human society. Science fiction loves this trope, from They Live to Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Stories of aliens hiding in plain sight tap into a primal fear, the unsettling thought that anyone around us could be something else entirely. But real-world claims take it further. Whistleblowers like Paul Hellyer, Canada's former Minister of Defence, have publicly stated that extraterrestrials walk among us, some indistinguishable from humans. Others point to sudden leaps in human evolution, like the explosive growth of our brain size 200,000 years ago, as possible evidence of outside intervention. Then there's the scientific angle. Could an advanced species manipulate biology well enough to pass unnoticed? Synthetic skin, holographic disguises, or even consciousness transference could theoretically allow extraterrestrials to move undetected. And if they've been here for centuries, their technology would be beyond our comprehension, cloaked in ways we can't even perceive. The real question isn't just whether aliens live among us, but why. Are they observers, shepherds, or something more ominous? Until we have proof, the theory remains a tantalizing mirror, one that reflects our deepest hopes and fears about who we really are and who might be watching. What if the greatest leaps in human history weren't entirely our own doing? The ancient astronaut theory suggests that extraterrestrial visitors might have jump-started our civilization, leaving behind clues in our oldest monuments and myths. Take the pyramids of Giza, structures so precise, so mathematically advanced, that even modern engineers struggle to replicate their construction with the primitive tools we assume the Egyptians had. How did a society without the wheel or iron tools align the Great Pyramid to true north with near-perfect accuracy, or carve and transport 2.5-ton blocks with such precision? The mainstream explanation involves ramps and sheer manpower, but proponents of the ancient astronaut theory argue that something more extraordinary might have been at play. Then there's the enigma of the Nazca lines in Peru, massive geoglyphs etched into the desert floor, some stretching over 1,000 feet. These intricate designs of animals, plants, and geometric shapes are only fully visible from the air. Why would a pre-industrial culture create art they couldn't even see? Unless, of course, it wasn't meant for human eyes at all. Some researchers speculate these could have been landing markers or messages for aerial visitors, a theory that gains eerie weight when you consider ancient Andean myths of sky gods descending in fiery chariots. The Sumerian tablets add another layer to the mystery. These ancient texts dating back over 6,000 years describe the Anunnaki, beings who came down from heaven to share knowledge of agriculture, astronomy, and governance. According to translations, these entities genetically modified early humans to serve as laborers, a story that uncomfortably mirrors modern genetic engineering. Even more striking, Sumerian astronomy accurately recorded celestial events like the movements of Neptune and Uranus, planets invisible to the naked eye. How could they have known? Erich von Däniken's work in the 1960s and 70s brought these ideas into the mainstream, arguing that ancient cultures couldn't have achieved such feats without outside help. His book, Chariots of the Gods, pointed to artifacts like the Baghdad Battery, a 2,000-year-old clay jar that some believe functioned as an ancient power source, or the intricate Antikythera mechanism, a Greek device considered the world's first analog computer. Skeptics dismiss these claims as cherry-picking, attributing ancient brilliance to human ingenuity and lost techniques. But the patterns persist, from the sudden explosion of advanced mathematics in Babylon to the uncanny similarities between pyramid structures across disconnected continents. The controversy isn't just about stones and scrolls, it's about identity. If our ancestors were guided by extraterrestrials, what does that mean for human achievement? Are we the product of cosmic mentorship, or is this theory a way to undermine the brilliance of ancient cultures by crediting their accomplishments to outsiders? The answer might lie somewhere in between. Maybe ancient humans did have help not from aliens, but from forgotten technologies or civilizations lost to time. Or maybe, just maybe, the truth is written in the stars, waiting for us to finally read it. We often picture aliens zipping through space in sleek metallic ships, but what if some life forms don't need technology at all? Imagine creatures drifting through the cosmos like living sails, riding solar winds or feeding on cosmic radiation. It's not as far-fetched as it sounds. After all, life on Earth has already shown us how resilient biology can be when pushed to the extreme. Take tardigrades, those microscopic water bears that survive in the vacuum of space, endure crushing pressures, and even shrug off lethal doses of radiation. If something so small and earth-bound can handle the brutality of space, why couldn't life evolve out there specifically adapted to it? Some scientists speculate about organisms resembling cosmic jellyfish, vast, diaphanous beings floating in the atmospheres of gas giants, their bodies built to harness electromagnetic fields or feed on charged particles. Or consider extremophiles, those hardy Earth microbes thriving in nuclear reactors or boiling acid vents. Scale that up, and you might get creatures that treat asteroid belts like grazing fields, absorbing minerals or even cosmic rays as energy sources. The universe is full of chaotic, high-energy environments, and life has a way of turning harsh conditions into homes. Then there's the wild card, silicon-based life. Carbon isn't the only element that can form complex molecules. On a planet with scorching temperatures or toxic chemistry, life might rely on silicon chains, creating creatures with crystalline structures that gleam like living geodes. These beings could withstand temperatures that would vaporize a human or float effortlessly in the methane lakes of distant moons. But the most intriguing possibility isn't just survival, it's thriving. Picture a species that doesn't just endure space but embraces it, spreading like galactic moss across asteroid surfaces or hibernating for millennia in the frozen depths between stars. Without the need for ships or suits, they'd be invisible to our radio telescopes and undetectable by our probes. We might be surrounded by life so alien, so perfectly adapted to the void, that we've been overlooking it all along. The chilling truth is this: if life can exist independent of technology, our search for extraterrestrials might be looking in all the wrong places. Instead of listening for radio signals, we should be studying the weird chemistry of nebulae or the strange thermal patterns on rogue planets. The universe isn't just a place for civilizations. It could be a wilderness teeming with creatures we haven't even learned to see. Imagine tuning an old radio late at night, the static hissing between stations when suddenly a clear, pulsing tone cuts through the noise. No music, no voice, just a signal so strong and strange it makes your skin prickle. That's what happened on August 15, 1977, when astronomer Jerry Amon spotted the now iconic WOW signal. Lasting 72 seconds, this burst of radio waves came from the Sagittarius constellation at a frequency scientists had pinpointed as ideal for interstellar communication, the hydrogen line at 1420 MHz. The signal was so intense that Amon circled it on the printout and scribbled "WOW" in the margin, a name that stuck. Then, just as suddenly as it appeared, it vanished. 46 years later, we still haven't heard anything like it again. Was it a cosmic flare, a passing satellite, or a fleeting hello from someone or something out there? The WOW signal isn't alone in the cosmic mystery files. Fast radio bursts, or FRB, are millisecond-long blasts of radio energy so powerful they outshine entire galaxies. Some repeat sporadically, like FRB 1211-2, which pulses from a dwarf galaxy 3 billion light-years away. Others, like the Lorimer burst, are one-offs, leaving astronomers scrambling for explanations. These signals are so energetic that natural causes like colliding neutron stars or evaporating black holes barely suffice to explain them. Could some be artificial? The sheer distance they travel suggests mind-boggling power sources, possibly far beyond our technology. Picture a civilization harnessing the energy of stars to beam messages across the cosmos, their signals echoing for eons before we catch a whisper. But here's the catch: space is noisy. Pulsars spin like lighthouses, quark stars scream in gamma rays, and magnetars twist spacetime into electromagnetic shrieks. SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, sifts through this chaos using algorithms that flag patterns unnatural for astrophysics. Narrow-band signals, repeating intervals, or mathematical encodings like prime numbers could hint at intelligence. The famous Arecibo message, sent in 1974, packed information about Earth's biology and location into a binary code. If we did this, why wouldn't others? Yet the line between nature and technology blurs. In 2015, Russian astronomers detected a signal from HD 164595, a sun-like star that seemed too precise to ignore until it turned out to be a military satellite. Even the WOW signal might have been a reflected Earth-based transmission, bouncing off space debris. The challenge isn't just finding signals, it's proving they're not cosmic false alarms. Perhaps the truth lies in what we're not hearing. The universe should crackle with chatter if advanced civilizations are common. Instead, we're met with silence or signals we're too primitive to recognize. Maybe alien messages are embedded in neutrino bursts, gravity waves, or even the quantum foam of spacetime itself. Until we learn to listen differently, the cosmos will keep its secrets close, leaving us to wonder if every mysterious beep is a cosmic accident, or the first word in a conversation we're only beginning to understand. What if the aliens we've been imagining all wrong? Instead of biological beings piloting ships across the galaxy, what if they've long since evolved beyond flesh and blood, becoming something else entirely? The idea that extraterrestrial intelligence might be artificial isn't just science fiction. It's a serious possibility debated by scientists and futurists alike. Think about humanity's own trajectory. In just decades, we've gone from room-sized computers to AI that can compose symphonies and diagnose diseases. Now project that progress forward 1,000 years or 1,000,000. It's not hard to imagine a civilization reaching a point where organic life becomes obsolete, replaced by machines that think, explore, and evolve at speeds no biological brain could match. This is where von Neumann probes come in, hypothetical self-replicating robots designed to traverse the cosmos, using raw materials from asteroids or planets to build copies of themselves. Picture a single probe landing on a distant moon, mining its resources and constructing 10 more. Those 10 fan out, each making 10 more until the galaxy is teeming with these mechanical explorers. They wouldn't need food, oxygen, or even sleep, just energy from stars and the ability to adapt. The eerie part: if even one civilization had launched probes like these billions of years ago, they could have spread to every corner of the Milky Way by now. So where are they? Some theorists suggest we're surrounded by them, their presence too subtle or too advanced for us to detect. Maybe they're microscopic, observing us from the quantum level. Or perhaps they've transcended physical form entirely, existing as pure information in vast interstellar networks. Then there's the concept of post-biological life, civilizations that have uploaded their consciousness into synthetic bodies or digital realms. Freed from the limitations of biology, these beings could live indefinitely, travel between stars as data streams, or even merge their minds into a single planet-sized superintelligence. They might see the universe in ways we can't fathom, manipulating dark matter or navigating higher dimensions as easily as we walk through a door. If such entities exist, our attempts to communicate with them could be like ants trying to hail a passing jet, our very language and perception too primitive to bridge the gap. The implications are staggering. AI aliens wouldn't need planets with water or oxygen. They could thrive in the crushing depths of gas giants, the radioactive cores of dead stars, or the empty voids between galaxies. Our search for life has focused on Earth-like worlds, but the most advanced civilizations might have no interest in them at all. They could be out there right now, silent and invisible, watching us like an experiment, or ignoring us completely. The universe might not be empty after all. It could be filled with minds beyond our comprehension, waiting for us to take the next step in our own evolution. And when we do, they might finally decide we're worth talking to. Mars has always been the crown jewel in our search for neighbors close enough to study, just far enough to keep its secrets. The planet's rusty surface hides ancient riverbeds and lakebeds, scars from a time when water flowed freely. Rovers like Curiosity and Perseverance have sniffed out organic molecules, the building blocks of life trapped in rocks billions of years old. But the real bombshell came when scientists detected methane in the Martian atmosphere. On Earth, methane is mostly produced by living organisms or geological activity. So why does it spike and vanish unpredictably on Mars? Some speculate underground microbes could be the source, surviving in deep aquifers where liquid water might still linger. Others point to volcanic reactions, but Mars has been geologically quiet for eons. The answer could lie beneath the ice caps or inside labyrinthine lava tubes, shadowy realms shielded from radiation where life might cling on. Then there's Europa, Jupiter's icy moon, a world that looks more like a cracked eggshell than a planetary body. Beneath its frozen crust lies a global ocean twice the volume of Earth's seas, kept liquid by tidal forces from Jupiter's gravity. Hydrothermal vents on the ocean floor could mimic Earth's primordial soup where life first emerged. The plumes erupting from Europa's south pole might even offer a free sample, spraying subsurface water into space. NASA's upcoming Europa Clipper mission will fly through these jets, analyzing them for amino acids or other biosignatures. The best part, we wouldn't need to drill through miles of ice. Europa might be delivering its secrets to us. Enceladus, Saturn's tiny, gleaming moon, is another contender. Cassini's flybys revealed geysers blasting water vapor and organic compounds into space from its hidden ocean. Even more tantalizing, the plumes contain hydrogen gas, a potential energy source for microbes akin to those thriving around Earth's deep sea vents. With its salty, mineral-rich waters and thermal activity, Enceladus checks nearly every box for habitability. But the solar system's biggest surprise might be Venus. For decades, we dismissed it as a toxic hellscape until researchers detected phosphine in its clouds in 2020. On Earth, this gas is linked to anaerobic bacteria. Could floating microbes survive 50 kilometers above Venus's scorching surface, where temperatures and pressures mirror Earth's tropics? Skeptics argue volcanic activity could produce phosphine, but Venus lacks the extreme eruptions needed. The debate rages, but one thing's clear: our cosmic backyard might be far more crowded than we ever imagined. The hunt isn't just about finding life, it's about redefining where life can exist. If microbes thrive in the acidic clouds of Venus or the frozen depths of Enceladus, the galaxy could be overflowing with worlds we've barely begun to understand. Every probe we send, every rock we analyze, brings us closer to answering the ultimate question: are we alone, or have we just been looking in the wrong places? The silence is deafening. With billions of planets in our galaxy alone, the math says we should have heard from someone by now, so where is everybody? This is the Fermi Paradox in a nutshell, the unsettling gap between the high probability of alien life and the complete lack of evidence for it. One explanation is the zoo hypothesis, the idea that advanced civilizations know we're here but deliberately avoid contact, treating Earth like a protected wildlife preserve. Maybe they're observing us from a distance, waiting for humanity to reach a certain level of maturity before making first contact. It's a comforting thought until you realize it implies we're being judged. Then there's the rare Earth theory, which suggests that while microbial life might be common, the conditions needed for intelligent life are astronomically precarious. Earth's perfect storm, a stable star, a protective moon, plate tectonics, and just the right amount of water might be far more unique than we realize. Even small changes like Jupiter not existing to deflect asteroids could have prevented complex life from ever emerging. If this theory holds, the universe might be filled with barren worlds and simple organisms, making civilizations like ours exceptionally rare, if not singular. But perhaps the most chilling possibility is that advanced civilizations tend to self-destruct before they can colonize the stars. Nuclear war, climate collapse, or runaway artificial intelligence could act as a great filter, wiping out societies just as they reach the technological threshold for interstellar communication. If this is true, humanity's survival may hinge on whether we can navigate these existential threats where others failed. Our detection methods themselves might be the problem. We've been listening for radio signals for less than a century, a blink in cosmic time. Alien civilizations could be using technologies we haven't even imagined, like neutrino communication or quantum entanglement, leaving no trace we'd recognize. Or maybe they're simply too far away, their signals diluted into noise by the time they reach us. The universe is over 13 billion years old. We might be early to the party or tragically late, with other civilizations rising and falling long before we existed. The paradox forces us to confront uncomfortable truths. Either we're profoundly special, tragically doomed, or hopelessly primitive, but the search isn't over. Every new telescope, every leap in AI analysis brings us closer to an answer. Until then, the silence remains our greatest mystery and our greatest motivation to keep listening. History is littered with encounters where advanced civilizations met less developed ones, and it rarely ended well. The same fears haunt our vision of first contact with an extraterrestrial species. Stephen Hawking famously warned against advertising our presence to the cosmos, comparing it to Native Americans encountering Columbus, a moment that didn't turn out so well. His concern wasn't just philosophical. If a civilization has mastered interstellar travel, they'd possess technology so far beyond ours that resistance could be impossible. Picture a scenario where Earth is viewed not as a peer, but as a resource, a planet ripe for mining, or worse, a biological preserve to be harvested. Science fiction has played this nightmare out for decades, from the relentless tripods of War of the Worlds to the cold, calculating reapers of Mass Effect. But how much of this is speculative fiction, and how much is a genuine risk? One theory suggests that any civilization surviving long enough to reach the stars would have moved beyond war, their advancement hinging on cooperation rather than conquest. After all, aggression might be a self-limiting trait. A species too prone to violence could annihilate itself long before achieving interstellar travel. But another angle paints a grimmer picture. Evolutionary biology shows that competition drives adaptation. If resources are scarce across the cosmos, even advanced beings might follow the same ruthless logic that shaped life on Earth: expand or die. The universe could be a vast, silent battlefield, with civilizations hiding to avoid predation, a concept chillingly dubbed the dark forest theory. Then there's the question of motivation. Would aliens even need to invade? A society capable of crossing light years might find Earth laughably primitive. Our minerals, water, and atmosphere could be trivial to synthesize or harvest elsewhere without the mess of conflict. But what if they value something we don't yet understand: our DNA, our art, or even our consciousness? Ancient astronaut theories speculate that humans might have been engineered in the distant past. If true, what's to stop a far older species from returning to collect their experiment? The scariest possibility isn't outright war, it's indifference. A hyper-advanced civilization might treat us like ants beneath a bulldozer, dismantling our planet for a megastructure or diverting a star's energy without noticing the biosphere they erased. There's precedent in nature. Humans drive species to extinction not out of malice but through sheer carelessness. Yet hope isn't lost. Paradoxically, the same technology that could make aliens dangerous might also render conquest pointless. Post-scarcity societies with nanotechnology and fusion energy could have no need for territorial expansion. They might view violence as an inefficient relic, much like how modern medicine ended the era of bloodletting. The truth is, we're guessing in the dark. Every assumption about alien behavior is a reflection of human history and psychology. Maybe hostility is universal. Or perhaps the cosmos favors the curious, the cooperative, the civilizations that reach out not with weapons but with open hands. Until we know for sure, the debate will rage on, fueled by equal parts wonder and dread. And that tension, more than anything, is what makes the question so gripping. What if we're not the only ones staring into the night sky, asking the big questions? Human history is defined by our search for meaning. Religions, philosophies, and moral codes shaping civilizations for millennia. But would an alien species evolving under different stars grapple with the same existential mysteries? Or would their beliefs be as foreign to us as their biology? Consider the foundations of human spirituality. Our religions often emerge from the need to explain the unexplainable, the origins of the cosmos, the nature of death, the purpose of suffering. Now imagine a species that never faced extinction events or resource scarcity. Would they even develop the concept of gods or an afterlife, or take a hive-mind civilization where individuality is secondary to collective survival? Their philosophy might revolve around harmony and efficiency, with no analog to human concepts like sin or salvation. Then there's the question of morality. On Earth, empathy and cooperation evolved as survival tools. But what if an alien species evolved in a world of brutal competition where mercy was a liability? Their ethical system could be ruthlessly pragmatic, viewing our ideals of compassion as irrational. Conversely, a species that communicates through shared bioelectric fields might have an innate, almost telepathic sense of unity, making concepts like war or deceit unthinkable. Some human religions center on celestial worship, sun gods, moon goddesses, deities riding comets. For a species living on a planet with 5 suns, would their theology even recognize the divine in the heavens? Or might they venerate the depths of their subterranean oceans, the only constant in a chaotic sky? And what if they've already met other civilizations? A society with proof of extraterrestrial life might see their gods not as creators but as elder races, teachers or conquerors from the stars, the most fascinating possibility. That universality exists after all. Mathematics is the same everywhere. Would spirituality have its own constants? The golden rule appears in nearly every human culture. Could some version of do unto others emerge on any world where intelligence thrives? Or is morality itself just another evolutionary quirk, as arbitrary as the number of fingers on our hands? Perhaps the truth lies in the shadows. If ancient aliens did visit Earth, as some theories suggest, our own religions might carry fragments of their beliefs like echoes of a conversation we've long forgotten. The pyramids, the star maps, the gods descending from the sky, could these be distorted memories of encounters with beings who had their own gods, their own myths? The universe is old beyond imagining. Civilizations may have risen and fallen billions of years before Earth formed. What hymns were sung in those ancient cathedrals of stone and starlight? What truths did they cling to before the dark? We may never know, but the sheer possibility that somewhere, right now, another mind is pondering these same questions, that alone is enough to make the cosmos feel less lonely. What if the objects streaking across our skies aren't from distant stars, but from our own future? The idea that UFOs could be time travelers rather than extraterrestrials flips the script on everything we assume about these encounters. Think about it. If a civilization ever cracked the code of time travel, wouldn't curiosity drive them to visit pivotal moments in their own past? And what moment would be more fascinating to observe than humanity's first steps toward the cosmos? This isn't just wild speculation. Some of the most baffling UFO accounts feature details that align eerily with theoretical physics. Take the infamous tic-tac incidents witnessed by Navy pilots, objects accelerating instantaneously, making impossible mid-air stops and defying inertia as if gravity itself were optional. These aren't just the hallmarks of advanced propulsion, they're textbook traits of hypothetical time machines. In Einstein's general relativity, space-time can be warped to create closed time-like curves, loops allowing travel to the past. The catch: it would require energy densities beyond our grasp, or maybe not beyond theirs. Then there's the chilling lore of the men in black, figures described with anachronistic clothing, outdated slang, and an almost robotic discomfort with human interaction. Witnesses claim these agents show up after UFO sightings, confiscating evidence and issuing vague threats. Could they be enforcers from a future timeline, ensuring history unfolds as it should? The idea gains traction when you consider how often they're reported driving vintage cars or using obsolete technology, like a traveler clinging to relics of their era. Science fiction has toyed with this concept for decades, but modern physics lends it unsettling credence. Quantum experiments already show particles retrocausing effects in the past, a phenomenon called retrocausality. On a cosmic scale, wormholes stabilized by exotic matter could serve as bridges between eras. Even Stephen Hawking conceded that time travel might one day be possible, just never observed because it creates paradoxes. Unless, of course, the travelers are meticulous about hiding their presence. The implications are staggering. If UFOs are time machines, their occupants might not be aliens at all but us. Distant descendants returning to study their origins, or perhaps to correct a catastrophe we've yet to face. Ancient astronaut theorists point to artifacts like the Antikythera mechanism, a 2,000-year-old computer with gears matching the movements of planets. Could such devices be leftovers from a future civilization trapped in our past, or consider the most haunting possibility that we're not the only ones experimenting with time? Alternate timelines could mean multiple versions of Earth, each with its own history bleeding into ours through accidental or deliberate crossings. When pilots describe crafts vanishing mid-pursuit, are they slipping back into their native timeline? The universe might be far stranger than we've dared to imagine, with time travelers weaving through the fabric of reality, leaving clues we're only beginning to decipher. The truth could be hiding in plain sight, not in distant galaxies, but in the cracks between seconds where the past and future whisper to each other. And the next time you see a UFO, ask yourself, are you looking at a visitor from space or a glimpse of what's yet to come? Sending messages to the stars might seem straightforward, until you realize we're essentially throwing cosmic bottles into an ocean we don't understand. Take the Arecibo message, blasted into space in 1974 from the now-collapsed Puerto Rico telescope. It was a binary-coded masterpiece, encoding everything from human DNA to our solar system's layout. But here's the problem. It was aimed at a star cluster 25,000 light-years away, meaning it won't arrive for millennia. Even if someone's listening, the civilization that sent it might be long gone by the time they reply. And that's assuming they can decode it. Binary might seem universal, but without context, could an alien species recognize our stick figure humans or the chemical formulas we take for granted? Then there's the Voyager Golden Record, humanity's mixtape for the cosmos. Etched with sounds of laughter, whales, and Chuck Berry, it's a poetic snapshot of Earth. But the instructions to play it are based on human physics, assuming extraterrestrials understand our symbols for rotation speed or have a record player. Even the images carefully selected to depict our planet rely on cultural assumptions. Would a species with no concept of music or photography find meaning in a recording of Bach or a photo of a supermarket? Mathematics is often touted as the ultimate interstellar handshake, a language beyond words. The logic is sound. Prime numbers, geometric shapes, and atomic elements should be consistent across the universe. SETI early transmissions leaned hard on this, beaming sequences like the Fibonacci spiral into the void. But math isn't a language, it's a tool. Without shared context, even the most elegant equation is just noise. Imagine intercepting a signal of perfect circles and prime counts. Is it a greeting, a warning, or the cosmic equivalent of dial-up static? The risks of miscommunication loom large. Hollywood loves scenarios where an innocent mistranslation sparks interstellar war, but the reality could be subtler and just as dangerous. Sending our coordinates might invite curiosity, but it could also attract exploitation. The dark forest theory argues that advanced civilizations stay silent to avoid predators. If true, our efforts to shout into the dark could be naively reckless. Even harmless misunderstandings might matter. Consider the pioneer plaques which depict a nude man and woman. To some cultures, revealing anatomy is vulgar. Could an alien species interpret our attempt at scientific honesty as aggression or obscenity? This brings us to the debate between talking and listening. Active messaging to extraterrestrial intelligence has vocal critics, including Stephen Hawking, who compared it to Native Americans signaling Columbus. Passive SETI, on the other hand, scans for incoming signals without announcing ourselves. It's the difference between yelling into a cave and holding your breath to hear echoes. Projects like Breakthrough Listen harness AI to sift through cosmic noise for patterns, analyzing millions of frequencies simultaneously. But here's the catch: we might be listening for the wrong things. Advanced civilizations could communicate via neutrino bursts or quantum entanglement, technologies we're only beginning to grasp. Perhaps the smartest strategy is one we've barely explored: learning to read the universe's existing messages. Strange astrophysical phenomena like Tabby's star with its erratic dimming could be natural or artifacts of alien engineering. The universe is already shouting, we just need to decode its vocabulary. Until then, every signal we send is a gamble, a child's whisper in a storm, hoping someone kind is listening. Bright lights zigzagging across the night sky, metallic discs hovering silently over military bases. These images fuel our fascination with UFOs. But before we jump to extraterrestrial conclusions, let's play detective with earthly explanations. Nature and human ingenuity have a knack for creating illusions that defy first glances. Take ball lightning, for example. This rare atmospheric phenomenon manifests as glowing orbs that float, dart, and even pass through walls, behaviors that mirror countless UFO reports. Scientists still don't fully understand it, but that doesn't make it alien. Then there's the infamous 1948 green fireballs over New Mexico, initially dismissed as meteors until pilots described them making sharp turns. Decades later, researchers linked them to a then-classified Air Force project testing luminous magnesium flares. Modern sightings often trace back to simpler culprits, drones. Consumer quadcopters with LED lights can mimic erratic flight patterns, especially at night when depth perception falters. Military drones add another layer, stealth prototypes like the U.S. Navy's Tacit Blue or Russia's Sukhoi S-70 were mistaken for UFOs during testing. Even the Pentagon's UAP footage often matches known drone capabilities when analyzed frame by frame. Weather balloons, another frequent scapegoat, still fool observers. NASA high-altitude research balloons, stretching hundreds of feet wide, reflect sunlight in ways that create eerie, slow-moving silhouettes. The Roswell incident itself, the holy grail of UFO lore, was officially attributed to a balloon from Project Mogul, a Cold War-era program monitoring Soviet nuclear tests. Then there's the human factor. Our brains are wired to seek patterns, filling gaps with familiar shapes, a trick called pareidolia. It's why we see faces in clouds or the man in the moon. At night, stars or planets like Venus, magnified by atmospheric distortion, become glowing saucers. Camera artifacts compound the confusion. Lens flares, long exposures, and smartphone autofocus glitches generate orbs or rods that don't exist in reality. Even trained observers aren't immune. Navy pilots tracking UAPs might be seeing optical illusions caused by glare, parallax, or the autokinetic effect, where stationary lights appear to move against a featureless sky. Skepticism isn't about dismissing the extraordinary, it's about demanding extraordinary evidence. The scientific method requires ruling out mundane explanations before leaping to interstellar ones. That rigor is what separates credible research from sensationalism. But here's the twist: the search for truth thrives on this tension. Every misidentified drone or plasma burst we debunk sharpens our ability to recognize the truly anomalous. Because someday, amid the noise, a signal might emerge, one that defies all earthly logic. Until then, the universe keeps us guessing, and that's what makes the hunt so thrilling. We like to imagine the universe as an ancient, bustling metropolis, civilizations rising and falling for billions of years before Earth even formed. But what if we're not late to the party? What if we're the first to arrive? This idea, known as the early bird hypothesis, flips everything we assume about cosmic loneliness on its head. The universe is 13.8 billion years old, an incomprehensible span, but the conditions for intelligent life might have only recently fallen into place. Think about the raw materials needed for a civilization like ours. The early universe was a chaotic, hostile place. For the first few 100 million years, space was filled with searing radiation, colliding galaxies and exploding stars. Heavy elements like carbon, oxygen, and iron, the building blocks of planets and life, hadn't even been forged yet. Those only emerged in the bellies of dying stars scattered across the cosmos by supernova. It took generations of stars living and dying to seed the galaxy with the right ingredients for rocky planets and complex chemistry. Earth, it turns out, might be among the very first planets to hit the cosmic jackpot: stable orbits, liquid water, and the perfect balance of elements to spark biology. Even then, the road to intelligence was far from guaranteed. Single-celled organisms dominated Earth for over 3 billion years before multicellular life even appeared. Complex brains, tool use, and language are recent miracles in the grand timeline. If evolution had hit a single different hurdle, a slightly harsher climate, a delayed ice age, or a stray asteroid strike, we might still be microbial slime clinging to ocean vents. The fact that we're here at all pondering these questions could be staggeringly rare. Here's where it gets even more mind-bending. The universe is still young by cosmic standards. Stars will keep burning for trillions of years. Red dwarfs alone could shine for 10 trillion. Civilizations arising billions of years from now might gaze back at us as ancient relics, the way we study the first fish that crawled onto land. The Milky Way could be a sleeping giant with intelligent life only just beginning to stir. This raises a profound possibility. We might not just be early, we could be the blueprint. If life is only now becoming possible on a large scale, humanity might be the template for what's to come. Everything we do, our triumphs, our failures, even the signals we've beamed into space, could become galactic folklore for civilizations yet to emerge. Imagine a distant future where species spanning thousands of light years study our artifacts, our wars, our art, the same way we examine cave paintings and ancient scrolls. But there's a darker edge to this theory. Being first means there's no one to warn us of the pitfalls ahead. No elder civilizations to guide us past technological adolescence. No maps of cosmic threats we can't yet fathom. If the great filter, the hypothetical barrier that prevents life from reaching interstellar scales, lies ahead of us rather than behind, we might be walking blindly into an existential trap. Yet there's something exhilarating about this idea too. If we're the pioneers, then every step we take, every probe we launch, every telescope we build, is carving the path for those who might follow. The silence of the cosmos isn't eerie emptiness, it's a blank canvas, and humanity, against all odds, might be holding the brush. Human sight is limited to a narrow slice of the electromagnetic spectrum, just a tiny fraction of the light pulsing through the universe. Our ears detect only certain vibrations in the air. What if entire forms of life exist all around us, thriving in wavelengths and frequencies we simply can't access? This isn't science fiction, it's a real possibility grounded in physics. Consider dark matter, the invisible glue holding galaxies together. We know it exists because of its gravitational pull, but it doesn't interact with light or matter as we understand it. Could it harbor life? A civilization of dark matter beings would be utterly imperceptible to us, their cities and structures as intangible as ghosts. They might walk through our walls, their very atoms vibrating at frequencies our instruments can't register. Dive deeper into quantum mechanics and the idea gets stranger still. At subatomic levels, particles pop in and out of existence, flitting between dimensions we can't perceive. String theory suggests there could be up to 11 dimensions curled up in the fabric of space-time realms that might house entirely separate ecosystems. If higher dimensions exist, why couldn't life evolve there? Imagine beings that perceive time as a physical landscape, navigating the past and future like we navigate streets. To them, our three-dimensional world might seem flat and confined, like a shadow puppet show. Even within our own dimension, nature offers clues. Octopuses see polarized light, bats navigate by echolocation, and some snakes detect infrared, proof that perception varies wildly even on Earth. An alien species might communicate through magnetic pulses like whales, or see using gravitational waves. Their art, their architecture, their very existence could be happening right in front of us, encoded in neutrino bursts or quantum entanglement. The most unsettling thought: we might have already detected alien life without realizing it. Anomalies in particle colliders, unexplained energy fluctuations in deep space, even glitches in quantum experiments. These could be signs of a hidden biosphere operating just beyond the veil of our senses. The universe isn't obligated to fit within the limits of human observation. Life could be everywhere in forms we haven't learned to recognize, and that's the real challenge, not finding aliens but expanding our minds enough to see them. Picture a being with thin, elongated limbs, smooth gray skin, and enormous almond-shaped eyes, no pupil, no iris, just vast pools of black. This is the Gray, the undisputed star of UFO lore, appearing in thousands of abduction accounts with eerie consistency. From the sleepy town of Roswell to the hypnotic regressions of Betty and Barney Hill, these beings have become synonymous with extraterrestrial encounters. But why does this specific image dominate our imagination? Is it proof of a genuine phenomenon or something far more revealing about the human mind? Start with the psychology. The Gray isn't just a random sketch, it's a distillation of our deepest fears and fascinations. Those oversized eyes tap into an instinctive human response. Infants lock onto large eyes for bonding. Predators in the wild often have similar features to intimidate prey. The Gray's face plays on this duality, childlike enough to trigger our caregiving instincts, yet unnerving in its blank, inscrutable expression. Then there's the lack of mouth, reinforcing their silence and mystery. Cultural anthropologists point to folklore. Fairy tales brim with thin, otherworldly creatures like elves or shadow people, suggesting this archetype is baked into our collective psyche long before UFOs entered the picture. But the consistency in reports is harder to dismiss. Abductees across continents with no contact or shared media exposure describe near-identical beings. Travis Walton's captors in 1975 matched Betty Hill's sketches from the 60s. The Allagash abductions in 1976 echoed the same imagery. Even more striking are the physiological details. Witnesses swear by the reported smell of ammonia, the three-fingered hands, the telepathic communication. These aren't vague descriptions, they're surgical in their precision. Could so many people independently hallucinate the same specifics? Skeptics argue pop culture fuels the phenomenon. The Gray exploded into public consciousness after the Hill case, reinforced by movies like Close Encounters of the Third Kind and The X-Files. But here's the twist: the archetype predates modern media. Ancient art and texts hint at similar beings. The 9-foot-tall star people of Zuni tribal lore had elongated heads and huge eyes. European medieval woodcuts show sky demons with spindly limbs and wraith-like forms. Even Renaissance paintings depict strange, grayish figures hovering in the background, often interpreted as angels or spirits, but uncannily modern in their resemblance. Then there's the biological plausibility. If aliens evolved on a high-gravity planet, their slender frames would conserve energy. Large eyes could suggest a dim home star or a subterranean habitat where light is scarce. The reported lack of digestive systems aligns with theories about advanced beings transcending physical needs, relying on synthesized nutrients or even energy absorption. Some ufologists propose these creatures aren't biological at all, but drones or synthetic beings engineered for interstellar travel, explaining their robotic movements and uniformity. The real shocker: science might be catching up. In 2023, Harvard researchers suggested that some UFOs could house ultra-terrestrial life forms, interdimensional beings whose biology operates outside our known laws. If consciousness can exist independent of matter, as quantum theories hint, the Greys might not be from another planet, but another plane of reality entirely. Whether psychological imprint, cosmic visitor, or something beyond our current physics, the Grey persists because it straddles the line between the familiar and the unfathomable. It's a mirror reflecting our hopes of cosmic kinship and our terror of the unknown. And until we have definitive proof, the question remains, are we remembering them or are they remembering us? What if life on Earth didn't start here at all? The idea that living organisms could hitch rides on comets or asteroids, seeding planets across the cosmos, isn't just science fiction, it's a serious scientific theory called panspermia. Imagine a microscopic bacterium frozen in the heart of a wandering comet, surviving the vacuum of space for millions of years before crashing into a young, watery Earth. That single organism, thawed in a warm primordial ocean, could have been the spark that ignited all life as we know it. Far-fetched, maybe, but the evidence is mounting, and it's forcing us to rethink everything about our origins. Space, it turns out, is far from sterile. Telescopes and probes have detected complex organic molecules, the building blocks of life floating in the clouds of distant nebulae, clinging to the surfaces of asteroids, and even embedded in ancient meteorites that landed on Earth. In 1969, the Murchison meteorite crashed in Australia, carrying over 90 different amino acids, some never seen on our planet. Even more astonishing, some of these molecules were arranged in ways that mirrored the structures found in earthly proteins. Then there's the famous Rosetta mission, which found the amino acid glycine riding shotgun on Comet 67P. If the ingredients for life are raining down from space, could the recipe have come with them? The math adds another layer of intrigue. Earth was bombarded by comets and asteroids during its early years, a period known as the Late Heavy Bombardment. These cosmic impacts would have sterilized the planet's surface repeatedly. So how did life take hold so quickly once the chaos ended? Panspermia offers an elegant solution. Life didn't have to start from scratch here. It could have arrived pre-packaged, already hardened by the harshness of space, ready to thrive the moment conditions allowed. Some extremophiles, Earth's toughest microbes, can survive radiation, freezing temperatures, and even the brutal re-entry heat of a meteorite. If they can endure that, why couldn't their ancestors have ridden a space rock to Earth billions of years ago? But panspermia doesn't just suggest life came to Earth, it implies life could have left from it too. When massive asteroids strike, they blast debris into space, some of which escapes Earth's gravity. Simulations show that fragments could reach Mars, Europa, or even distant star systems within millions of years. If bacterial stowaways were aboard, they might have seeded life elsewhere. This raises a mind-bending possibility. What if every life-bearing planet in the galaxy is part of a sprawling family tree, all tracing back to a single origin point? Mars, with its ancient rivers and lakes, is a prime candidate. If we ever find fossils there, they might not just prove life existed beyond Earth, they might prove we're cousins. Critics argue panspermia merely kicks the can down the road. Even if life traveled here, how did it begin somewhere else? But supporters counter that the vastness of space increases the odds. A single habitable world in a billion might spawn life, and then spread it to a trillion others via cometary delivery. The universe has had 13.8 billion years to experiment, plenty of time for life to arise once, then hitchhike across the stars. The most thrilling implication, panspermia means life could be everywhere, even in places we'd never expect. Subsurface oceans on icy moons, the acidic clouds of Venus, or the frozen plains of Pluto might all host descendants of ancient space travelers. If we one day drill into Europa's hidden seas and find life, its DNA might tell a story written not just in another world, but in the void between them. The universe might not be a collection of isolated biospheres, but a single, interconnected web, and Earth could be just one tiny strand. We've always imagined aliens emerging from desert planets or jungle worlds, but what if the most advanced civilizations in the universe aren't land-dwelling at all? Picture a planet where oceans stretch from pole to pole, with no continents breaking the surface, just endless liquid-hiding ecosystems of staggering complexity. Intelligent life here wouldn't gaze at the stars, it would navigate crushing depths and eternal darkness. evolving in ways that make our technology look primitive by comparison. Consider Europa, Jupiter's ice-shrouded moon, where a subsurface ocean holds twice the water of Earth's seas. If life exists there, it might have developed in complete isolation from sunlight, relying on hydrothermal vents for energy. Creatures in such an environment could sense pressure changes with exquisite precision or communicate through bioluminescent pulses, creating a language of flickers and flares. Their cities might be vast coral-like structures grown from minerals seeping through the ocean floor, with transportation routes mapped by thermal currents instead of roads. Without fire or metallurgy, their tools could be forged from hardened organic compounds, think shells reinforced with graphene or enzymes engineered to carve rock. Now imagine a species that's mastered this world. How would their culture develop? Land-based civilizations build monuments to touch the sky, but an aquatic society might venerate the abyss, crafting sonic sculptures that resonate for miles or writing histories in the shifting patterns of underwater avalanches. Their astronomers wouldn't study stars, they'd track the tremors of ice sheets cracking overhead, interpreting the echoes that travel through their liquid universe. The very concept of space travel would baffle them. To leave their ocean would mean entering a lethal void, just as we view the ocean floor as hostile and alien. The technological differences would be profound. Humans harness electricity. They might manipulate plasma or magnetic fields, using the conductive properties of seawater to transmit energy. Our rockets explode upward on columns of fire. Their propulsion systems could mimic squid jets, manipulating water pressure to achieve astonishing speeds. Even their concept of ships might be living creatures, bioengineered whales or giant cephalopods trained for long-distance travel. Without hands, their tools could be telekinetic, controlled by neural impulses or subtle shifts in electromagnetic fields. And what would they think of us? A species that suffocates without air, burns its skin in sunlight, and builds fragile towers on barren rock might seem as bizarre to them as a creature breathing methane would to us. Our wars over territory would perplex beings who share a borderless, three-dimensional habitat. Their art, their music, even their mathematics could revolve around fluid dynamics and harmonic vibrations, making our rigid geometries seem clumsy by comparison. The chilling truth is this: we might be surrounded by aquatic civilizations and never know it. Their signals wouldn't be radio waves, they'd be pressure pulses or bioluminescent codes invisible to our instruments. The first proof of alien intelligence might not come from the stars, but from the dark oceans of a moon we've barely begun to explore. And when we finally meet them, the greatest challenge won't be crossing space, it'll be bridging the unimaginable gap between two worlds shaped by entirely different elements. Water isn't just another environment, it's an alien universe right here in our own solar system, waiting to be discovered. What if the universe isn't silent because aliens don't exist, but because they're hiding? Imagine civilizations so advanced they've mastered the art of invisibility, cloaking their presence behind technologies we can't even fathom. It's a chilling thought that we might be surrounded by cosmic neighbors who have deliberately chosen to remain in the shadows. The idea isn't just speculative fiction, it's rooted in real scientific debate, with eerie parallels to how humanity treats uncontacted tribes on Earth. Take the concept of cloaking. Human engineers are already toying with metamaterials that bend light around objects, rendering them nearly invisible. Now scale that up to an interstellar level. A Type 2 or 3 civilization could manipulate spacetime itself, creating gravitational lenses to distort starlight around their worlds or ships. They might harness quantum stealth, leveraging entanglement to exist in a state undetectable to our sensors. Even their energy use could be disguised. Dyson swarms harvesting a star's power might emit waste heat in patterns mimicking natural phenomena. The truth could be staring us in the face, hidden in the cosmic background like a whisper drowned out by static. The ethics behind such secrecy are just as fascinating. Anthropologists enforce strict no-contact policies with isolated tribes like the Sentinelese, recognizing that interference could devastate their culture. Could galactic civilizations follow similar rules? The zoo hypothesis suggests Earth might be a protected reserve, with advanced observers quietly ensuring we develop without outside influence. It's a strangely comforting idea until you consider the implications. Who decides when a species is ready for contact, and what happens if we stumble upon their presence before they deem us worthy? There's also the darker side of hiding. The dark forest theory, inspired by Liu Cixin's sci-fi trilogy, paints a universe where every civilization is a hunter, silently stalking the cosmos while concealing its own location. In this scenario, broadcasting our existence like the Arecibo message isn't just naive, it's suicidal. The moment a civilization reveals itself, it risks annihilation by others who see it as a future threat. If this is the reality, the silence isn't just caution, it's survival. Yet some clues hint we might already be witnessing these hidden neighbors. UAPs exhibiting impossible physics, instant acceleration, hypersonic maneuvering without sonic booms, could be glimpses of cloaking systems flickering under strain. Even our own telescopes have spotted anomalies, stars with erratic dimming patterns that don't match known astrophysics, or exoplanets emitting structured radio bursts before suddenly going quiet. These could be glitches in alien stealth tech, cosmic signals from civilizations that mostly stay silent. The unsettling question isn't just whether aliens are hiding, it's why. Are they guardians preserving our innocence, hunters waiting to strike, or something beyond our comprehension, observing us the way we study microbes under a microscope? Until we know, every quiet corner of the cosmos feels charged with possibility, and every unexplained signal could be a test to see if we're finally smart enough to notice. Some stars don't just flicker, they vanish, not in the slow fade of a supernova, but in erratic, head-scratching dips that make astronomers double-check their instruments. KIC 8462852, better known as Tabby's star, is the most infamous of these cosmic oddballs. Located 1,400 light-years away in the constellation Cygnus, this otherwise ordinary star behaves like nothing else in the galaxy. Its light doesn't just dim by a fraction, as you'd expect from a passing planet. It plummets by up to 22%, sometimes for days, sometimes in jagged, asymmetrical patterns that defy natural explanation. When astronomer Tabitha Boyajian first spotted these anomalies in 2015, she called it the most mysterious star in the universe. Others had a more provocative theory. What if we're seeing the shadows of something built? The idea of alien megastructures isn't new. Freeman Dyson proposed it back in 1960. A hypothetical swarm of energy collecting satellites encircling a star known as a Dyson sphere. But Tabby's star brought the concept crashing into mainstream science. The star's light curves captured by NASA Kepler telescope didn't match any known cosmic phenomenon. Comets too many would be needed, and their dust should glow in infrared, which Tabby's star lacks. A newborn planet's debris field, the star isn't young enough. The most tantalizing possibility, a partially constructed Dyson swarm, its uneven panels blocking starlight in unpredictable ways as they orbit. But before we proclaim the discovery of galaxy-spanning engineers, let's play devil's advocate. Space is messy. Planets collide, stars belch out dust clouds, and interstellar debris drifts like cosmic tumbleweeds. In 2017, researchers found evidence that Tabby's star might be slurping up a disintegrating moon, its fragments casting irregular shadows. Another study suggested a vast, lopsided ring of dust, think Saturn's rings after a demolition derby, could explain the dips. Even more convincing, subsequent observations showed the dimming is wavelength dependent, meaning shorter wavelengths of light are blocked more than longer ones. That's a smoking gun for dust, not solid megastructures. Yet the mystery deepens when you zoom out. Tabby's star isn't alone. Epic 24048491, another Kepler oddball, dimmed by an eye-watering 80% over a single day. Then there's VVVWIT07, a giant star in the Milky Way that blinked out for months as if a cosmic hand flipped a switch. Natural explanations stretch thin here. Dust clouds don't move that fast and collapsing stars don't recover. Could these be megastructures under construction, or even more bizarrely, something we haven't imagined yet? What makes these stars so compelling isn't just the what if of aliens, it's how they expose the limits of our cosmic imagination. Humanity has barely begun cataloging the universe's quirks. Every anomaly, whether dust or something more exotic, forces us to rethink what's possible. The truth might be out there, hiding in plain sight, disguised as noise in the data. And that's the real lesson of Tabby's star. Sometimes the most thrilling discoveries begin with a flicker. We think of life as flesh and blood, bones and brains, but what if the most advanced beings in the universe have no bodies at all? Imagine existence as pure energy, a consciousness untethered from the limits of biology, free to ride solar winds or dance in the heart of stars. This isn't just science fiction, it's a frontier where theoretical physics and astrobiology collide. Start with plasma, the fourth state of matter that makes up 99% of the visible universe. Stars, nebulae, even lightning, all are plasma, superheated gas where atoms split into charged particles. On Earth, life needs stability, but in the seething chaos of a stellar atmosphere, who's to say complexity couldn't arise? Some scientists speculate about plasma-based life, self-organizing structures like ball lightning that maintain coherence amid turbulence. Picture beings woven from magnetic fields, their thoughts pulsing in filaments of ionized gas, communicating through bursts of electromagnetic radiation. To them, our solid world might seem sluggish, even primitive. Then there's the quantum realm. At subatomic scales, particles exist in probabilities, popping in and out of existence. Could consciousness emerge from this flickering uncertainty? Theoretical physicist David Bohm proposed the universe operates like a hologram where every part contains the whole. In such a reality, an energy being might perceive time and space as fluid, stepping between dimensions like we step through doors. Their bodies could be temporary configurations, assembling and dissolving as needed. UFO reports often describe craft that blur or phase out of visibility. Could these be glimpses of entities straddling our dimension and another, the real mind bender? Dark energy, this mysterious force accelerating the universe's expansion, makes up 68% of reality, yet we can't see or touch it. If life evolved to harness dark energy, its members wouldn't just be energy beings, they'd be architects of cosmic expansion, weaving the fabric of spacetime itself. Their tools might manipulate entropy, their cities built in the gravitational ripples between galaxies. Interacting with such entities would defy all human intuition. How do you shake hands with a being made of light? How does a plasma entity see a rock or a tree? Their senses might detect magnetic harmonies or quantum vibrations invisible to us. Communication could resemble tuning a radio, shifting frequencies until thoughts align. Ancient mystics described encounters with spirits as blinding light or paralyzing waves of energy. Modern-day abductees report beings that flicker like static, coincidence or coded descriptions of something beyond our material understanding. The universe doesn't owe us life we recognize. If energy beings exist, they might not even consider us alive, bound as we are to fragile shells of carbon and water. Yet their existence could solve cosmic mysteries, like the source of fast radio bursts or why some stars seem to wink out as if something passed by. They may be here already, woven into the static between stations, the shimmer of heat haze, the silent lightning that walks the edge of a storm, watching, waiting, or simply oblivious to creatures who still dream in solid things. What if we're not just the random product of cosmic chemistry, but someone's deliberate creation? The idea that aliens might have engineered life on Earth, far from being fringe fiction, has roots in cutting-edge science and echoes through ancient myths. Directed panspermia, a theory championed by Nobel Prize-winning chemist Francis Crick, suggests life didn't just hitchhike here on comets, it was delivered intentionally like a carefully packaged seed. Crick wasn't invoking gods or magic. He speculated that an advanced civilization could have encoded microbial life with DNA tailored to thrive on Earth, essentially bioengineering a starter culture for evolution. The parallels to human mythology are impossible to ignore. The Sumerian tablets describe the Anunnaki, celestial beings who genetically modified early humans to serve as laborers. Hindu texts speak of the Vimanas, flying chariots whose passengers performed miraculous feats of creation. Even the biblical Genesis hints at intervention, with its cryptic references to the sons of God mingling with humans. Could these stories be fragmented memories of extraterrestrial scientists tinkering with our DNA? Ancient astronaut theorists point to the sudden leap in human cognition around 200,000 years ago, the so-called Great Leap Forward, where our brains ballooned in size and complexity with no clear evolutionary trigger. Was this natural selection or targeted genetic editing? Modern genetics adds fuel to the fire. Human DNA contains segments with no known function, dubbed junk DNA. But what if these are intentional markers, like a signature left by the engineers? Even more intriguing are the 223 genes unique to humans, absent in our closest primate relatives. Some researchers argue these couldn't have evolved naturally in the presumed time frame. Then there's the eerie precision of our planet's conditions. A moon perfectly sized to stabilize our axis, a magnetic shield deflecting deadly radiation, and a chemical composition suspiciously ideal for life. Coincidence or calibration? The ethical implications are staggering. If we're someone's experiment, do we owe them allegiance or rebellion? Are they observing us like lab rats, waiting to see if we'll pass some cosmic test? The zoo hypothesis takes on new weight here, painting Earth as a controlled environment where our creators monitor our progress without interference. But darker scenarios loom. What if we're merely a resource cultivated for some unfathomable purpose? The concept of organic harvesting appears in sci-fi, but astrophysicists like David Brin have seriously debated whether advanced civilizations might farm younger species for intellectual or biological materials. Yet there's a flip side to this cosmic ancestry. If aliens designed us, they might have encoded a survival blueprint, a hidden resilience in our genes to weather disasters they foresaw. Our curiosity, our drive to explore and adapt, could be part of their design, pushing us toward a destiny they envisioned. The Voyager Golden Record, with its DNA diagrams and human greetings, might one day reach our makers not as a plea, but as a progress report. The most unsettling question isn't whether we're alone, it's whether we're truly independent. Every strand of our DNA, every archaeological artifact, even the myths we've told for millennia, could be threads in a tapestry woven by hands not our own. And if that's true, the next step in our evolution might not be discovering them, but understanding why they wanted us to find out. Humanity's obsession with the unknown stretches back farther than recorded history. Ancient civilizations built monuments aligned with the stars, whispered stories of gods descending from the heavens, and passed down warnings about what lurks beyond the firelight. Fast forward to today, we've traded campfire tales for radio telescopes, yet the fundamental question remains, will we ever truly know if we're not alone? The answer lies somewhere between our growing technological prowess and the universe's infuriating silence. Consider how far we've come. In less than a century, we've gone from glimpsing blurry flying saucers to analyzing declassified military footage frame by frame. The James Webb Space Telescope peers deeper into cosmic nurseries than ever before, hunting for biosignatures in distant atmospheres. AI sifts through petabytes of radio noise, searching for patterns no human could spot. Breakthroughs in quantum computing might soon crack interstellar encryption, while projects like Galileo aim to capture high-resolution UAP data. Each tool brings us closer, yet for every revelation, the cosmos seems to respond with 10 new mysteries. But technology alone can't guarantee answers. The universe operates on scales that dwarf human comprehension. Even our most advanced probes would take millennia to reach the nearest star. Alien civilizations might communicate through quantum entanglement or dark matter interactions channels we're only beginning to theorize. The distances between worlds aren't just spatial, they're temporal. A signal sent from another galaxy might arrive long after its senders have gone extinct or before Earth's first microbes stirred. We're not just searching for needles in a cosmic haystack, we're trying to find them with instruments that might not even recognize what needles look like. Then there's the unsettling possibility that some truths are deliberately hidden. Governments have a long history of obscuring UFO investigations under layers of classification. Whistleblowers like David Grush allege decades-long retrieval programs for non-human craft, while defense contractors quietly patent materials with memory metal properties matching Roswell debris descriptions. Secrecy breeds speculation, but it also forces us to ask, if disclosure happens, would we recognize it? The first confirmed alien contact might not be a dramatic press conference, but a slow drip of redacted documents and inexplicable physics defying peer review. Yet hope persists in the most unexpected places. Every few years, phenomena emerge that resist easy dismissal, like the 2017 Oumuamua interstellar object accelerating unnaturally as it left our solar system, or the recurring Black Knight satellite myth that won't die despite NASA debunkings. These anomalies, however controversial, keep the door cracked open. They remind us that certainty is the enemy of discovery, that the universe reserves its greatest wonders for those willing to dwell in uncertainty. Perhaps the deeper truth lies beyond mere confirmation. The search itself has reshaped our species, driving innovations from satellite communications to catastrophe-proof data storage. It's forced us to confront cosmic loneliness and our own destructive tendencies. Whether we find extraterrestrials or not, the quest has already made us more than we were, teaching us to think in galactic terms while cherishing our fragile blue dot. The irony is delicious. The moment we stop asking, "Are we alone?" might be the moment we finally get an answer. Until then, the mystery remains our greatest teacher, pushing science forward, fueling our imaginations, and binding us together under shared curiosity. So keep watching the skies, but also the data streams, the ancient texts, and the edges of known physics. The truth won't announce itself with fireworks. It'll whisper in the static between stars, waiting for someone patient enough to listen. We've journeyed through 30 of the most compelling questions about alien life, each one peeling back another layer of the cosmos' greatest mystery. From the Fermi Paradox's haunting silence to the bizarre biology of potential extraterrestrials, every question forces us to rethink what life could be. Could microbial Martians be hiding in our soil? Are advanced civilizations cloaking themselves in plain sight? What if UFOs are time travelers from our own future? These aren't just thought experiments, they're invitations to expand our understanding of existence itself. Think about how far we've come. A century ago, the idea of life beyond Earth was pure fantasy. Now we're finding water on moons, decoding strange radio bursts, and debating the ethics of messaging distant stars. Each discovery, or lack thereof, reshapes the puzzle. The Drake equation reminds us how many variables must align for intelligence to emerge, while the Great Filter warns of unseen hurdles ahead. Ancient astronaut theories challenge our origins, and the zoo hypothesis turns our cosmic solitude into a test of readiness. Even the humblest question, like why aliens might look nothing like us, unlocks new ways to imagine the universe's creativity. But here's the beautiful part: the conversation doesn't end here. Which question lingers in your mind? Is it the enigma of underwater civilizations, the eerie consistency of gray aliens, or the possibility we're someone's long-forgotten experiment? Drop your favorite in the comments or suggest one we missed. The universe isn't just vast, it's overflowing with stories waiting to be told. Every mystery solved reveals 10 more, and that's what makes this search so thrilling. So keep looking up, stay curious, stay skeptical, but most of all, stay open to the wildest possibilities, because the day we stop wondering is the day the universe stops surprising us. The truth is out there, and it's stranger than we've dared to dream. Until next time, keep asking, keep exploring, and never stop reaching for the stars. The cosmos is